where we're turning back to tonight's top story, Mayor Mamdani's preliminary budget proposal. As we mentioned earlier, the mayor today laid out what he says are two options for addressing the city's $5.4 billion budget shortfall. The first one is his main campaign promise to raise taxes on wealthy New Yorkers and corporations. But without Governor Hochul on board, Mayor Mamdani also floated a plan B, raising property taxes and dipping into the city's reserves. Negotiations between the mayor and city council will take place over the next several months. The final budget isn't officially due until July 1st. Joining me now to talk more about this preliminary budget proposal is a special City Hall panel. Dean Fuleihan is the first deputy mayor and Sheriff Soliman is the city's budget director. Welcome to the program. Great to see you both.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Nice to be with you.
Dean, I'll begin with you. I know and I fully understand the mayor is saying raising property taxes, this is something that would be an absolute last resort. But has the administration thought about and talked through how you explain this to New Yorkers who just a few months ago elected Mamdani on an affordability agenda?
So everyone in the administration and certainly the mayor believes strongly in the affordability agenda. We also said we were going to deliver services and give New Yorkers the excellence they deserve in day-to-day city operations. What we did not expect was the dramatic budget crisis that we inherited. And that it's not just us saying this. We have both the state controller, two city controllers,
yes,
who have identified a very serious problem with city spending, and we have to right-size that. We have to make sure that the city is on sound fiscal ground, and we're looking to Albany to help us do that. But there are pieces of the affordability agenda in here. Childcare, the agreement that we were able to reach on January 8th, very early in our administration, provided $1.2 billion to fix 3K, to fix the system that has been failing for the past 4 years, to make sure that parents can send their 3-year-olds close to their home and have high quality early education. And we're expanding for the first time to 2-year-olds this year and next. And that was an agreement with the governor, and that is part of this budget. So we remain very committed to the affordability agenda. We believe we're delivering that very quickly, but we have to fix this budget crisis.
Still, Mamdani has been pretty critical of the city's current property tax system. In fact, this predates his criticism, predates him actually becoming the mayor. Here's what Mamdani had to say in a conversation with Errol Lewis back in September.
What we see is that it's a property tax system that is widely understood to be inequitable, and it also has real ramifications around rental properties, as well as the ability to produce the mass scale of housing that we need to. Because a successful housing platform is one that speaks to all 8.5 million New Yorkers who call the city home.
So, Sheriff, my question to you is, why even discuss potentially having a property tax hike when the mayor has already called out the current system as being inequitable?
The mayor has been very clear that we need property tax reform. It's near universal sentiment that the system right now is broken. It's not fair. It's opaque. It is hard to understand. He's been very clear that we need to prepare a proposal, which we are doing, and in a matter of weeks, we're going to send to Albany for consideration. The property tax system needs structural change. I was privileged enough to serve as the executive director of the New York City Advisory Commission on Property Tax Reform. So I know firsthand the structural changes, what they would mean for the effective tax rates for homeowners across the city. That is what we need. We need homeowner relief programs attached to the structural changes that need to be done for the property tax system. And the mayor's been very clear. That is what he would like to see and like to pursue.
And did that conversation come up on Tin Cup Day, property tax reform?
It did come up,
okay.
And it came up, long before he became mayor. His campaign platform included it. He's been saying it, as you just noted in the interview. He has been talking about property tax reform because he realizes that the system is inequitable. and he really wants to fix it for those homeowners across the city.
Dean, there are some areas where there will be some increased spending. So the city's going to be hiring more lawyers, investing in programs. Why spend in areas where it's not mandated? And how does that spending factor into the overall budget gap?
So most of the spending in this budget, in this preliminary budget, and we should remind everyone, this is a preliminary budget. On May 1st, we'll have an executive budget, and then with the city council, an adopted budget in early June. So this is the beginning of that process. And the state is in the middle of their budget process. So we're very hopeful. We have developed a very cooperative and positive relationship. We had an agreement again of $1.2 billion for early education in the beginning of January. Yesterday, the governor said, here's another $1.5 billion that can help us in this fiscal crisis. And now we have a $5.4 billion remaining gap that we need Albany's help to get to a conclusion on. And a conclusion that hopefully does not require us to do the property tax. On the spending side, the vast majority of this is for city commitments, is for things that the prior administration had committed to and was actually not funding, to the tune of almost $14 billion. We are stating here in a very transparent way, here are the requirements. The actual new spending is a fraction of the budget. It's about 4%. It's a very small piece. And even that is for things like paying for the snow removal, dealing with more homeless services, hiring lawyers so that we actually can do more reforms, both protecting New Yorkers, but also find savings. Things that had been neglected over the past 4 years, we're addressing.
The mayor laid out two options today. Option one, higher taxes on the wealthy, on corporations. Governor Hochul said she's not interested. His option two is to potentially raise property taxes. We've heard from the city council speaker today. She believes that this should not even be on the table. What's option three?
Well, the mayor has been very clear in terms of presenting options, in terms of revenue generation, but also this plan includes a significant savings plan, $1.7 billion in new savings. That will be accomplished by 1.5% in fiscal year 2026, 2.5% in fiscal 27. The mayor signed an executive order that establishes chief savings officers in each agency. They will be charged with looking at outside consulting contracts, redundant operations, programs that are ineffective. Their work will inform how we achieve those savings. We would like to accomplish savings with a scalpel, not with a blunt instrument. Their work, initially due by March 20th, will be the beginning of the process. It is by no means a one-time effort. It is a recurring effort, and that's the goal. But part of our job is to make sure that we have a balanced budget. By law, we have to have a balanced budget, and that is why the last resort option that the mayor presented today shows the property tax increase and shows the rate on reserves, because we need to balance the budget in the preliminary. But as Dean said, it is a preliminary budget. As we go forward, conversations will continue as the state budget process progresses, and we're confident that we can get additional assistance.
One more piece it's important to mention. The mayor did talk about taxing the rich and firmly believes in that, but he also said there's an imbalance, an historic imbalance between what New York City's residents and business and employees contribute to the state of New York and what we get back. And we did find, particularly during the Cuomo years, that that imbalance grew. So while New York from 2010 to 2020 contributed more than 60% of the revenues that New York State was getting, the amount of money we received back had stayed flat. In addition, cost shifts had been moved to the city. Time and time again. So part of this is to also ask the state, let's take care of that imbalance. And the governor yesterday actually did identify areas to reverse that.
Dean, we really appreciate your time. Thank you for being with us, Sheriff, as well. Obviously, there's a lot more to this conversation, and so we hope to have you both back on the show soon. It is now